Hello everyone, welcome back to our Python programming series. This is our sixth lecture, and in this lecture we'll learn about strings in Python. In the previous lecture we learned about loops. We saw how to repeat a block of code using while and for loops, and we also learned about the range function as well as the break and continue statements. Today we're going to learn about one of the most commonly used data types in Python called a string. Whenever we work with names, messages, passwords, cities, emails, or any kind of text, we use strings, right? Almost every real world Python program works with strings in some way, so it is a very important topic to learn. So, the topics covered in this lecture will be what is a string, how to create strings, string indexing, negative indexing, string slicing, string methods, and looping through strings, right? By the end of today's lecture, you should be able to understand what strings are, create string variables, access characters using indexing, slice strings, use common stringing methods like upper, lower, replace, find, and strip, and loop through a string or iterate through a string using a for loop, right? These concepts will help us manipulate text in our Python programs. Before we begin, let's quickly revise our previous lecture. We learned about loops. A loop allows us to repeat a block of code multiple times. We learned while loop, for loop, range, break, continue. Today we'll even learn how loops can be used with strings. But first, what exactly is a string? A string is simply a sequence of characters enclosed inside quotation marks. A character can be a letter, a number, a symbol, punctuation, even a space. For example, as you can see here, Python. This is a string because it is enclosed inside quotation marks. Similarly, hello and even numbers, as long as they are enclosed inside quotation marks, they are considered strings. And we can even write full sentences, right? Let me show you a few examples here on our code editor. Let us print, or wait, str, this will be the name of our variable, is equal to Python. Print str. Yeah. As you can see, Python has been printed. Let's try it with numbers, right? If we write str is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is still considered a string. It won't throw an error. This is a string. Let me show you another example. To sort of prove to you that this is indeed numbers inside quotation marks are indeed treated as strings and not as numbers, right? We'll try to perform a simple calculation, right? Five plus five, or let's assign a variable to each. Okay, a is equal to 6, b is equal to 5, print a plus b, right? And let's also do the same thing without quotation marks. This time c is equal to Let's take the same numbers. 6, D is equal to 5, print C plus D. Now here you can take a moment to think about what would happen if we do these operations, right? Shall we run it? As you can see, when we took these quotation marks and printed A plus B, we are getting 65. This is not the sum of 6 plus 5 but 65. Both of these numbers have basically been joined together, and in the next operation, when we use the numbers without quotation marks and then we add them, it's the correct answer, right? This is because this is treated as a string. This is not a number here. As soon as we put inside quotation marks, it becomes a string, right? And it prints 65 because Python joins the two strings together. This is known as concatenation. We'll discuss it in today's lecture as well. Now let us move on. What is a string? A string is a sequence of characters enclosed in quotes. Examples, we have already seen these. Anything inside quotation marks are strings. Strings can contain letters, numbers, symbols, and spaces. Creating strings. Creating a string is very simple. We assign text to a variable just like we assign numbers. For example, we were writing A is equal to 5. If we write as A is equal to 5 inside quotation marks as we did in our example here, this is it. This is how a string is assigned, right? For example, name is equal to Alice. Now this variable name stores the string Alice, and Python allows us to use either double quotes or single quotes, right? As we have used here. They basically mean the same thing. Both of these are correct. Wait, let's delete this one. You just have to make sure that the opening and closing quotation marks match, okay? But for beginners especially, I'd recommend using double quotes most of the time. I'll show you why, right? Because single quotations can be a little confusing. First, let's check if both double and single quotations are valid. Let A equal to apple, and then we write B is equal to banana. As you can see, apple is within double quotation marks and banana is in single quotation marks. Do you think both of these are valid? As you can see, apple has been printed and banana has also been printed. Both of these assignments are valid, right? So why do we prefer to use double quotation marks as beginners, right? Because it can be confusing. So I was telling you about how it is preferred for beginners to use double quotation marks. This is because using single quotation marks can sometimes be confusing, right? And beginners are already trying to keep up with so much. I'll show you an example of how it can be confusing, right? For example, we are writing a sentence. Let's name a variable sentence. Let's use single quotation marks here. The weather. I want to write the weather's pretty hot today, right? That is what I want to write. So I'll write the weather's pretty. Let's write humid instead. Humid today. Now, can you look at what's going on here? I wrote the weather's pretty humid today, but it's showing some sort of error. Shall we try printing it? What error is this showing? A syntax error. Unterminating string literal. So what is happening here is basically um, Python took this apostrophe in weathers, right, as the ending of the string. So it basically took only the weather as a string, and everything after this is basically nothing. And then we put this apostrophe at the end here, this quotation mark, single, and it treated it as if it was an incomplete string because there's nothing written after here. If I close this, then it technically, let's try to run it. See, now this is a string with nothing inside it, empty string, and this is a string, and this is basically nothing. It's not, it's invalid, right? And if we try to write the same thing with double quotation marks, don't you think it will be better? The weather, see, nothing happened. This is string in, this is still inside the string, right? It is pretty humid today. See, will it work this time? Yes, it worked. We didn't get any errors and it printed properly. Because of these small things, we prefer to use double quotation marks most of the time. If because it's not a problem when you write a single word, like we wrote Alice and stuff like that, but if you are writing long sentences inside the string, these sort of errors can happen. Okay? Let us now move on to string indexing. Each every character inside a string has its own position, right? This position is called an index. For example, if you are sitting in a classroom and everyone is sitting at their own seats, right? At their own benches, everyone has their own position. Okay? This position is known as an index inside strings. And you have to remember, this is very important, that indexes start from 0, not from 1. You can't start counting from 1, you have to start from 0. Okay? And as you can see, it's starting from 0. If we have this word Python here, then this is the 0 index, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And if you notice, how many letters are in the word Python? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But our indexes are only going up to 5. That means it will only go from 0 to n minus 1, and n being the total number of letters inside the word, okay? Because we start from 0 and not from 1. If we started from 1, then it would go up to 6, okay? This is a very important thing to remember because we use indexes in a lot of things in Python programs, right? Let me show it to you one. If we have this is equal to Python, then this will be 0, p will be at 0, y will be at 1, t is 2, h 3, O fourth index and N fifth index. Okay. Do you want to try this? I'll explain it further here, but this basically prints the letter at the particular index, right? Let's see. Since we have this, print str square brackets, and we write the index inside it. Variable containing the string, print variable containing string, square brackets, the index position that we want to print. Let's try printing 0 to see what is at the 0th index. As you can see, we're getting P because it starts with 0, right? If we print 1, we won't get P, we'll get Y, because 1 is not the first index here, 0 is. See, if we want to print the whole thing, we can do it like this. Then print str1, print str2, variable name, square brackets, index position, print str3, print str4, print. Python is a case sensitive language, remember? So you can't capitalize anything. If this str variable was with a capital S, then I would have to write a capital S all over here. Since it is in a lowercase s, I have to write lowercase s here. If I write uppercase, it will throw an error. So you have to make sure of that. So you basically have to be sure about that. Let's also try printing str6 just to see what happens, because you know Python, this word Python technically has 6 letters. So let's also try printing str6. Okay, let's see this, and let's try to run it. We got our 0th index first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and upon the 6th, it's giving string index out of range because the range was 0 to 5. Okay, that's basically about string indexing. Accessing characters. We can, as we did earlier, just now, we can access characters inside the string. To access a particular character, we write the index inside the square brackets, right? Python basically, like if we go here, Python looks at index 0 and prints P here, and it looks at 1, prints Y. Let's read this. See, you also don't have to write them in order or anything. If I write str5 here and run it, close the bracket, you have to remember to close the bracket. First index 0th, first, second, and then it jumps to 5th because we printed 5th there, right? It can print any index no matter the position as long as you write it correctly. You can also think of indexing like house numbers on a street, right? Each character in this letter, in this word, has its own address, and Python can go directly to this address to fetch that letter for us, right? Now, negative indexing. Python also allows us to count from the end of the string. Instead of starting from P, it can also start from end, right? And the last character is always -1, okay? Then it will go from here. It basically comes into use when we want to access character that is at the end of the string. Okay, shall we try it once? Hmm. Let's name our string ABC and let's write entertainment. This is our string. So if we are looking at negative indexing, it will start from t. T will be -1, not 0, -1. Okay. So this will be -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9, -10, -11, -12, and -13. It can be as long as you want it to be. It's the same as regular indexing, just from the back, right? Not to say that this word doesn't have normal indexing. It's just a way, right? This is also 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'll show it to you once. Might sound confusing like this. Print. If I want to print the last character, since this is such a long word, if I want to print the last character in the normal way, I would have to count from here: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, whatever. And sometimes, if we are taking input from the user, then we don't know what, like, how long the word is and where on which index the last character is. So in that case, this can be helpful. So if we want to print the last character, we write -1 and run it, and we get T, our last letter. But we can also, the normal indexing still works even if we use this, okay? Don't get confused on that. If we write 4 here, this is positive, this is not negative indexing, this is normal indexing, and we run it. We're getting T and R. T is the last character, -1, and R is at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Correct, right? If we want to print string ABC, square brackets, -5, or let's take -12. See, it's still running. -12 is at here, n, right? So that's how negative indexing works. You can look at the example here, Python, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. If you print -1, we'll get n. Let's move on. String slicing. Slicing means extracting a part of the string. The syntax is string start colon end. The start is included, but the end is excluded in slicing. Okay, if this is 1 to 5, then it will only slice from 1 to 4. 5 is excluded, but 1 is included. Okay, this is a very important rule to remember, right? The end is always excluded. And let's try it with an example. Just delete this. Let's take a smaller string, right? Longer one might look complicated. Let's just Let's take it as yellow. So first of all, is this a string? We assigned a word to a variable. Is this considered a string? No, it isn't, because it doesn't have, it's not enclosed within quotation marks, right? Now it's a string. We'll print it once. Print variable name. Let's run this. Yellow. Now that that is printed, let's look at our string slicing. First we'll write print, then variable name, which is color over here, square brackets again, and our start position and end position. And if we want to print till O, what will our end position be? Yes, it will have to be W, because the end is not included. The start is included, but the end is not included. So if we want to print only till O, then the end will have to be W. So let's do 0, because indexing starts with 0. So 0 colon, how many letters are here? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, and run it. See, it's printed till O. And if we want to print the whole thing, then we can just write 0 colon and nothing here. See, it printed the whole string. As you can see, the start is included, and the end is basically, this thing just prints the whole word. Okay. If we look at our example here, the string is name is equal to Python. Print name 0 colon 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Since it says 3, it will print till, will it include the index at 3? It won't. It will print till T. Therefore, it will print this. Let's move on to some more examples. Let's do course is equal to programming. And let's print, first we'll write our variable name, course, square brackets, and now we write our this string that we want to slice. Let's do 3 colon 7, and we'll run this once. As you can see again, 0, 1, 2, 3, G, then 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is still this second M, but it only prints till the first M because 7 is not included. The start, which is G, is included, but this M, which is right before I, is not included. And if we want to print the whole thing, let's just leave it at that and do it. If we want to print the whole word, 3 colon and just leave it at that. 3 to the end, right? And if we want to print everything, all the letters, then we'll just start with 0 till the end. Programming. Now, what if we leave the start empty and only write the end position? Let's see. Print force. Leave the start empty, colon 6. If we run this, we get everything before 6, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is this M here. Is 6 included? No, it isn't, because the end is not included. It's still A. From A to everything before it, it's printed. So, can we also print the whole word? Is there any other way to print the whole word? Well, there is. We'll just write a column. No start, no end. Even if we just write, we don't even have to write the 0. Even if we just write this colon here and we run it, we're getting the whole string. Okay? We just tried all of these. String length. Sometimes we need to know how many characters a string has for some certain calculations and stuff like that. For this, Python provides us with the len function. Okay, it gives us the length of the string. This length includes the length of everything, including the white spaces. Okay, if we leave space between a word, it is included in the string and it is thus included in the length as well. So let us look at an example for the len function. We'll write name is equal to Python and we print length of then the variable name. Okay, what will the output be? 6, because there are 6 letters in the word Python. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here, when talking about length, we start from 1, we don't start from 0. The length of this is not 5, it's 6, right? When talking about indexing, we start from 0 and end at n minus 1, with n being the total number of letters, right? But when we are talking about length, then we count from 1. So this is 1, it's 1 at P, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's try it with something else. Major is equal to architecture, a longer word. Print. How do we print it? Len, bracket start, and variable name. And we run it. 12. 1 starting from A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, not 11 but 12. And if we try something that has a space, for example, equal to hi space bye. So if you think about it, how many letters are present in it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the length of this will not be 5, it will be 6, because this space here is counted in the length. Okay, if we print this, print length variable name, and we run it, we get 6, not 5 but 6. Okay, if we add more space here, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, as many as we want. Okay, and we run it again, see, 18. It was 6 earlier with 1 space, now it's 18, right? Because space is also counted in the length of the string, because it's part of the string, right? If we write a is equal to hello world, and we print it, print the length of it, length variable name, then we're getting hello world 10 plus 1, the length will be 11 here. Okay, so that's about it for our string length. We tried this, name Python length name 6. String methods. Python provides many inbuilt functions specifically for strings. These can only be used for strings, right? These are known as string methods. Methods allow us to perform different operations on strings without writing complicated code ourselves. They are inbuilt, right? They are built into the language. So today we'll learn these 5 useful methods: upper, lower, strip, replace, and find. They are among the most commonly used string methods, and they help us manipulate strings easily, right? So upper and lower. Upper converts every letter in the string to uppercase. Let's look at it once. Just delete this. If we take a variable text is equal to, let's take Python programming, and we print it using the upper function. First of all, how do we do it? Variable name text dot upper brackets. Okay, here we don't write the variable name inside this bracket, we write it before and dot. So print variable name dot upper and then brackets. Okay, so if we print this now, as you can see, our entire string has been converted to uppercase. Every single letter is in uppercase now. So the same example has been used here. This is for lowercase, right? Okay. Now if we write print variable name, our variable name is text dot lowercase. If uppercase is for if uppercase is for converting each of the letters in the words to uppercase, then obviously lowercase, which is the opposite of it, is to convert all of them into lowercase, right? Let's run it once. As you can see, uppercase converts all of them to uppercase letters, lowercase converts all of them to lowercase letters. Okay. As you can see, they don't change the original string, right? What I mean by that is, we printed uppercase and lowercase one after the other, right? But even if we converted this to uppercase, it didn't. Wait, I'll show it to you. It's easier to explain with examples, right? Print text. So we converted it to uppercase. So you might have a doubt that since we converted it to uppercase, now this whole string is in uppercase, and if we print it normally, it will still print it in uppercase, but it's not the case. Uppercase, and then this is our original string. This is not the uppercase string, it's still the original string. And if we print it at the end as well, see, uppercase, normal, lowercase, normal. What I'm trying to say is that these methods don't affect the original string, right, that we took. So that's that. The next is strip and replace. Strip basically removes extra spaces from the beginning and end of a string. Let's look at an example. Let's write it as text is equal to, let's take Python again, but let's take some spaces before Python. Since these are inside the quotation marks, they will be included in our string, right? And then let's leave one after as well. Let's leave a few more so that you can see it clearly. Yeah. Now if we print the length of it, how do we print the length of it? Len variable name. As you can see, these spaces are included in our length. But what if we only want to print the length of the letters that are in it, excluded the number of letters that are in it, excluding the white spaces? By the way, this only works at removing the space before, like at the start of the string and at the end of the string, okay? If there's a space in the middle, that won't be affected. I'll show it to you. But let's first do this. Print, as we did in the uppercase and lowercase functions, variable name dot strip brackets. Okay, we run this. Python. All of this was included in the string. As you can see, there are 14 characters in the string according to Python. But since we used strip, the places from before the word and after the word have been removed. Now, about what I was talking, saying that they won't be removed in between. ABC is equal to, let's use hello world again. Leave some space here, little bit of space here. Print ABC dot strip brackets. Okay, now let's run this. Let's leave a little more space here, right? It's easier to see. Yeah. As you can see, only the spaces from the start and the end have been removed. The spaces between hello and world are still there. This gap is still here. Only from the start and end is removed by strip. Okay. So that's it for strip. As you can see, this is the syntax for it. And replace allows us to replace one word or character inside a string with another. Okay. It is useful when we are trying to correct or update our text. Let's try an example. Uh, let's uh, let's take a sentence. Yes, I'm naming it sentence because I just don't know how to name things. I like to eat pizza. Okay, a simple sentence, and we'll print it once for reference. I like to eat pizza. Okay. Now, what if I want to print I like to eat pasta without changing this thing, without changing the original sentence? I just want to write once that I like to print pasta. I like to eat pasta. I like to eat pasta. God. Print again variable name just like it was in the previous methods. Variable name dot replace brackets, and inside the brackets this time we'll first write the original word from the string like that we want to replace inside quotation marks. Okay, and then we'll write what we want to replace it with. I want to replace it with pasta, so that it will print I like to eat pasta. So that's it, and if we run it, see it's been replaced. The pizza here, we didn't do any changes to this variable name sentence here. We only replaced pizza with pasta here. So now it's coming I like to eat pasta. What if we print the original sentence again? Will it have been changed? Since we replaced pizza with pasta, is this sentence now I like to eat pasta? As you can see, it is not, because this was only a once this was only a one time occurrence, right? For just this sentence, for this instant, we replaced pizza with pasta, but just like before, as it was in uppercase and lowercase, we saw that, right? The original remains the same. It's still I like to eat pizza. Okay, we can exchange it with anything, right? Print sentence. Sentence is our variable name. Dot replace pizza. We won't write pasta here because in the original string it's still pizza, not pasta. Pasta, comma, the updated word ice cream. Now we'll print I like to eat ice cream. See? Again, if we print the original sentence, it's still pizza. Okay? Now the next method is find method. Um, it searches for a character or a word inside a string, right? If we take an example, text is equal to programming, and we want to find G in it, right? We want to find G. So we'll write print. Again, we'll write variable name dot, then name of our method, find, brackets, and inside the brackets we'll write the letter that we want to, the letter or character that we want to find. We want to find G here. If we run it, 3. So what does this mean? Where is G? 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. G is at the third index. It returns the first occurrence of the character, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3. Here indexing has been used. Since G is at the third index, the first G in the letter is on the third index. We're getting 3. And what if we write a letter that is not here? What if we write Z? Is Z in this word? It isn't. What will happen then? If we tell it to find a letter that is not in the string, -1 is returned. Okay, so returns the first occurrence of the word. For example, if we print M, then which M will it print? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One M is at 6 and the other is at 7. Which one will it return? Yes, it returns the one at 6 because it returns the first occurrence. As you can infer from the name itself, it helps us check whether a particular word exists in a string, right? Since a string is a sequence of characters, we can use a for loop to visit each character one by one. That is what a for loop does, right? For example, let's take a variable name is equal to Python, and we use a for loop. Let's name our variable letter. For letter in name. Do you remember how to use the for loop? What will we do now? Yes, we'll put a colon, print letter. For letter in name, print letter. Here the variable letter stores one character at a time. On the first iteration it will store P, on the second it will store Y, and this continues until every character has been printed. Let's run this once. See, for letter in name, it goes through each letter of the word Python one by one and prints it here. Python. Okay. We have already done for loops, so this would look easy, right? Now let's look at string concatenation. We have already done this actually. I think we did it in the first or second lecture, but concatenation basically means joining two or more strings together. We can use the plus operator. If we use the plus operator on numbers, then we can add them normally. If we do 5 plus 6, we'll get 11. But if we use the plus operator with two strings, right, then it will be concatenated, joined together. come here, we write first word, oh my god, first word is equal to hello, and second word is equal to world. If we want to concatenate these, what will we do? First word plus second word. We'll just add these two variables. Okay. Let's run this. So this will be our result. Hello and world have been joined together. But this doesn't look very neat, right? What we can do is, after this plus sign, we'll add a space here and then another plus sign. So now this space has been added between these. This is also a string. As we learnt in the length function, a space is also included in the string. Okay, we print this hello world. Now we have a space between our hello world. We can leave a lot of spaces and we run this. See, there's this gap here. So yeah, this is the same example, hello world. Now let's look at some mistakes that beginners often make when using strings. First of all, name is equal to Python. This will cause an error. Can you remember why? Because we have not included quotation marks here. Okay, a string must be inside quotation marks. Another is accessing an index that does not exist. Python only has how many indexes? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It only has indexes from 0 to 5. 0 to n minus 1. But we are accessing 10 here, so this will give an error because the index is out of range, right? And assuming indexing starts at 1, this happens all the time. Don't get confused between the len function and indexing, right? Len starts from 1, but indexing starts from 0. 0 to n minus 1, where n is the number of letters in the word. Okay? So keep that in mind, please. Let us now move on to some practice questions. Our first question is create a string and print it. These practice questions, it's best if you look at it once, look at me doing it once, and then pause and do it once yourself. If you can't do it, then come back, okay? So yes, create a string and print it. We can do that. That's easy, right? Message. Let's name our string message. How are you? Create a string. We have created a string with the message how are you inside. We included it in double quotation marks. Perfect. Then we'll print variable name. What is our variable name here? Message. We run it. There we go. Our string has been printed. Easy enough, right? Now our next question is print the first and last character of a string. We can do that. It might sound a little scary. How are we going to print the first and last character of a string? We learned this, right? What do we need to access the characters of a string? We need indexing, right? Uh, let's do it in two ways. First we'll write name is equal to Python. So if we already know what our string is, how long it is, everything, right? Then we can just print it normally. Where will our first, on which index is our first letter? That's right, it's on the 0th index. And then what about the last letter? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we write 5 here. And if we print it, we get the first and last letter of our variable. But here's the thing, if we have taken an input from the user, right, then how would we know how long it is? How would we know what index the last character is at? Yes, we can use negative indexing. Let's try it. Name is equal to input. Please enter your name. And then what we'll do is first we'll print name, right? Then let's print name and 0. 0 will be the first. Yeah, 0 will be the first character of our string, and then we'll print. How to print the last character? Negative indexing. The last character is at -1. Okay, starts from this side, -1, -2, -3, like that. So let's try it, shall we? Name Alice. Enter. It first printed our full name, right? Then it printed the first letter, which is A here, and then the last letter, which we accessed using -1, E. It works. Okay. The third question is print the length of a string. You can do that. To print the length, first we need a string. You know what? Let's take this input from the user as well. Enter a string. Print. Let's first print string and then print the length. Print len and variable name. Okay. Run it. Enter string hello. See, first it printed hello, then it printed the length of the string. Length of hello is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Length starts from 1. Okay. So our next question is convert a string to uppercase. We know how to do this as well. This was also pretty easy. If we again take a string from the user, enter a string to be converted. Print, first we print our string just to look at it properly, right? Print string and then print. How do we convert it to uppercase? Yes, first we write variable name because this is the method. First we write variable name, then dot, then the name of the method, upper, and we run it. Let's write chocolate, enter. First it printed it normally, what we entered, and then it, using this method, it was converted to uppercase. Okay, easy enough. Replace one word with another. Do we remember how to do that? Let's leave this be. Or we'll just change this. Enter a sentence. And it's best to print str once. So you know what? Let's use this. And then what we want to do is replace 15 with whatever your age is. Str dot method name replace 15. We write it inside quotation marks because this is a string. This 15 is a string here, not a number. Okay, remember that. To again we used these quotation marks because these numbers here are strings in this place. Okay, 15 has been replaced with 19. Okay, print each character of a string using a for loop. We need to print every character one by one. How are we going to do that? Did we learn how to do that? Yes, we can do it by loop. Which loop? For loop or while loop? Yes, we'll use for loop because we want to print every character and a string is a sequence of characters. So let's take a random name. Please enter your name, and for the loop we'll write for, we can take any variable, but we'll use letter here because we are printing the letters, right? For letter in, then a variable name. For letter in name, what do we do next? Colon. Remember the indentation, don't miss it. Python works for indentation, right? And print letter. As we know, now this whatever name we take in, this for loop will go through each letter of that name one by one, printing it each time until the string ends. Okay, run it. Let's take Alexander. Okay, what if we take a white space here? What if we take a space here? Let's print it. As you can see, the for loop also prints this space here. Why? Because the space is included in the string. Okay, the space is part of the string, therefore when the for loop loops through it, it will also print this space here. Okay, we'll go through it one by one and print this. So we understood that as well. Now on to our last question. Extract the word Python from Learn Python programming using slicing. Now this again sounds a little scary. Extract the word Python from learn Python programming, right? But it's simple. It even told us how to do it. Did you see? It even told us use slicing, just use slicing. So what we're going to do is given string is learn Python programming, right? So we want to extract, what do we want to extract from here? Python from this. Therefore we'll write print, right? Print, then variable name is given string, square brackets. Now let's see. We have to check what index the word Python is. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now is 5p? No, 5 is this space. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This p is 6. So the starting index is always included, so we can just write 6 here. Okay, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now if we want to print the word, if we want to extract the word Python from here, can we write our ending index as 11? No, we can't, because slicing will always like exclude the last one, last character it will exclude. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll have to write 12 here. I'll also show you what happens if you let me show you what happens if you write 11 here, and we'll write the correct one here. Given string 6, 12. Okay, we print it. As you can see, if we did only till 11, only till this n, the last one was excluded and we only got Pytho. We were supposed to extract Python from here, but we only extracted Pytho. But if we use 12, 12 is this space here, then we are able to extract Python. Okay, so it basically selects the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11th indexes and gives us the word Python. Okay, this is the use of slicing. If you want to practice some more questions, you can enter your name and print it in uppercase, lowercase, all of that. Okay, so yeah. So this is the end of our lecture. Let's quickly revise what we have learned today. We learned what strings are, we learned how to create strings, we learned what string indexing is and how to do it, what negative indexing is, we learned string slices, how to slice strings, right? How to extract words from a sentence using slicing. We learned what the len function is to find the length of the string. We learned useful string methods such as upper, lower, strip, replace and find. And we learned how to loop through a string. In the next lecture, we'll explore nested loops and pattern printing, where we'll use loops inside other loops. Yes, you can do that. Loop inside loop inside loop. You can absolutely do that. And we'll use this to create interesting patterns, which will strengthen our understanding of iteration. Okay. So that's it for our sixth lecture of our Python programming series. See you in the next lecture. Thank you.